Queen?
What's
How you doing?
up? I'm amazing. How are you?
Man, I'm blessed. No complaints. No
Come on.
complaints. First of all, I've been watching your journey for the last few years, so I am so excited to be here on live with you. I have my team reach out to you. I said, please go and get this queen. I love everything that she do, everything she talk about. She for real, and let's make it happen. How is your day going?
Oh man, phenomenal, blessed, happy, grateful, just good. It's been a great day, a productive day. I switched my hair up today, which is always fun. But I'm just honored and excited that you even thought to send the team to reach out to me, because I see what you're doing. I see the changes that you're making, the access that you're giving, the impact, the influence, all of those things. So I am honored and excited to do this live with you today.
Man, I appreciate it, Queen. Well, she just killed that. Y'all see that? That's why she here. It's easy for her, right?
Nah.
So can you introduce yourself and tell the people what it is that you do, and then we can get started.
Let's go. What's up, y'all? The short answer is my name is Sarah Fontenot. And I am a serial entrepreneur. I help people get out of their own way mentally and emotionally. That is my heart work. I haven't been doing hard work for a long time, praise God. But I started out in multi-level marketing. Actually, I built to the top 1.6% of the company, took the tools, the lessons, all of those things. From there, I ended up falling into high ticket one-on-one coaching, which turned into premium coaching. I got into a mindset motivation t-shirt line. I got into speaking all over the world. I got into leadership development, personal development, professional development, and I got into investing. So now I'm really just having the opportunity to be where my feet are. Most recently, I just accepted a co-hosting position on a podcast in Atlanta called No Fluff the Podcast. So please go subscribe. It's pretty cool. We are no fluff about all things.
Shout out to Mitch.
Yeah, Mitch is so dope.
Yeah, shout out, man. So that's dope. First of all, your resume, that it spoke for itself. If y'all agree with me, let me see y'all put I in the chat, like, right. So I love to talk to entrepreneurs, especially a lot of entrepreneurs are well-rounded. A lot of people think they just in one lane. No, well-rounded. You gotta plant these seeds in order to grow. It's just not going. A tree ain't gonna happen overnight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's so crazy that you did all of that. Then came into self-love. Like, what made you want to get into self-love and focus more on self-love and not so much straight motivation, right?
Oh my goodness.
A lot of motivation, but
yeah, I'm here for the motivation. But what I realized is, after literally working with thousands of people, like literally thousands of people, what I noticed is usually the issue isn't like, oh, what are the action steps? Because it's all on YouTube, right? You could go learn anything you want for free. You don't even have to buy people's courses. You don't have to enroll in any seminars. You don't have to read any books. You could go on the internet for free and learn all the things. And I heard a staggering statistic, that 67% of people don't think that anyone would mind if they died. Which means 7 out of 10 people, they don't know their purpose. They don't know why they're here. They don't think they matter, and they don't think they're worthy. And so what I realized is 99% of the time, the issue is not strategy. The issue is worthiness. And so for me, I was like, oh my gosh, because I also used to be that girl. People see me now and they think I'm, this finished product. We're never a finished product, by the way. We are always a work in progress. Right. I'm Canadian, yes, progress. But I say that to say that I didn't start here. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I was calling my mom every month saying, hey, can you please help me put gas in my car? I was putting $3 on pump 5, not because I was in a rush, but because that's all I had. Scrounging up change in the couch, getting a 3-day to quit or move notice on my door every month. Like, literally, Dontel, I got sued.
First of all, can I stop that?
Yes.
What was that mindset like at that time, when every month, like, what was that mindset like?
I didn't even know that I had that mindset until years later, and I realized I was doing this thing. So I used to do this thing all the time where I was like, ooh, this is all a part of my story. Ooh, this is all a part of my story. And when I started entrepreneurship, by the way, I don't even really think it starts until you really want to quit, until you're ready to just throw it all away. Okay, consider that the true starting point, right? And I remember I had a girlfriend who was so good. Like, her life was great. She didn't have a worry in the world. Her bills were taken care of. Meanwhile, I'm struggling every month, right? And she used to say to me all the time, oh, Sarah, like, it doesn't have to be this hard. Oh, Sarah, like, you should. And 2 things. Number one, you've got to get around the people who pull the soldier out of you, not the people who pacify you. Because the truth of the matter is,
stop that. What does break that down? You gotta go deeper right there. You gotta go deeper. Because they get mad when I tell them, no, I'm not giving them no money, right? Because they get mad. So break that down deeper, a little more.
Yeah, well, the thing about it is, so often we're surrounded by people that just want to complain and do nothing. We're surrounded by the people that just want to talk about how hard it is, how stressed they are, their kids, their spouse, their job, and all of those things. And we have to remember that what we feel strongest about is what comes about. So if we're constantly that person that's talking about, oh, my body aches, oh, I'm stressed out, oh, you're literally perpetuating that thing to continue happening inside of your life. So when you get around the people that challenge you, when they say, you know what, I know this is hard, but what's the exit strategy? I know that we're struggling, but there's got to be some way out of this. I know that this is not the ending point. And so then the way that we look at things starts to change. And so for me, you know, coming down to developing a mindset, I used to say, ooh, this is all a part of my story. Ooh, this is all a part of my story. And I realized that I was living through 5 mantras. My first one was, this is all a part of my story. I funnel everything through. Nobody wants a basic, flatline, predictable story, right? It's not relatable. People want the ugly. And I have an ugly, beautiful, crazy, plot twisting story. Like, people would buy this story and put it into a movie. Let me tell you right now, you know? So it was that. It was things go wrong so that life can go right. It was all things are happening for my good, even the bad. It was, I was built for this. And stop asking God, why me? And start telling life, try me. Because we're built for this, you know?
Bars on bars. Yo. Yo. Hey, if y'all with me, do y'all hear these bars? Like, she got so many quotables in the first couple minutes. It's crazy. Like, yo. Man, that's real. I love it because you've been honest and transparent. And that's what I talk to people about all the time, is being transparent. A lot of people get on social media and they just want to cover up everything, but wonder why they not reaching they highest peaks, because they not even them. Right.
Yeah.
So for people to get on and get transparent, I love them more. I love real stories. I love truth. I love all. I can't deal with the fake. I can't even be around it if I know that you on social media talking about something else, but I know the truth. Right. So it's like, man, come on, man. And it's so dope. All right. So when you was in that moment, right, what made you have that transition though? Like, what made you transition out of month to month, not knowing how to pay the rent? You got your homegirl that's getting pacified. How did you transition out of that? Because there's some people right now stuck in that position and they don't know how to transpire out of that. Like, what would you tell them?
Well, for me, I started what I'm grateful for. And it's funny because multi-level marketing has such a negative connotation to it. Yeah. And I will never understand why. Because if you do the work, anything works if you work it, right? I don't care if you're working a business, a traditionally owned business, a brick and mortar business, a digital business, a multi-level marketing business, anything works if you work it, right? And so for me, I slipped and fell into multi-level marketing. And that is honestly what helped me to build a business, number one, because I didn't have to pay for the overhead. I didn't have to pay for the inventory. It literally cost me less than $100 to start a business, and I got to plug and play and use that system. Now, this is the thing. A lot of the times people are looking for 10,000 reasons why. And I should say this, you've got to remember, for the newest entrepreneur, I'm always talking to the newest entrepreneur. If you're doing great, good, I love that about you. But if you're in a place of like, I'm struggling right now, we have to remember that sometimes the people that love us the most, they support us the least, right? And it's not because they don't believe in you. It's not because you're not incredible. It's because they're trying to keep you safe in who you are instead of seeing you for who you can be. And so what happens is when we start this entrepreneurial journey, our friends, our family members, our loved ones, our spouses, they're going to tell you, you don't need to do that. Go get a job. That's for them over there. You're never going to make it. You're crazy. And you just have to dull out the noise and remember that literally it may come out in the most jacked up way, but they're really trying to keep you safe. And I say that to say that even though every single month I was calling my mom saying, hey, can you please help me put gas in my car? And my mom was like, baby, get a job. And I was like, I'm not getting a job. I'm doing this business. I'm going to figure it out. But can you send me $30? Right? Like literally, I'm calling, asking for help. But at the same time, I was willing to struggle. I was willing to struggle through it. So this brings me to two things. Number one, you've got to dead the noise of the people that don't believe in what you believe in. They can't see it because they've never done it. Right? I always use the analogy of a map of the United States, right? If as old as you are today, you've only ever seen a map of the United States, and you get around entrepreneurs and they're talking about Japan, right? No one that you've ever been around that's only also seen a map of the United States will think Japan is real. So you've got to get around the people that know Japan is real, right? And then number two, when you get into aligned action, like don't freaking waver from your goals and your dreams, because what I can promise you is this is hard. Entrepreneurship is the hardest thing I've ever done, but not because the steps are hard or the action steps are hard, but it's because of what life throws at us in the meantime. You know, and so many people use that as their excuse. Like, oh, my boyfriend broke up with me. I need to go. No, use it. You can't pay your rent. Use it. Your significant other broke up with you. Use it. Like, use it. But that's the second thing. You have to know yourself, because some people are the people that if your back is against the wall, you are swinging with everything that you got. That's me. You back me up, I'm fighting. Like, I'm not
100%.
it's gonna be death, or I'm coming out bloody, bruised, battered, but I am not gonna get killed in this corner, right? And what I mean that to say, I wouldn't get a job. If that is not you, and you are the person that operates better without the stress and struggle, I don't know why I need stress and struggle to do better, right? I don't know why that is. But some people, there's nothing wrong with having a job while you're building your future. There's nothing wrong with that. And you've got to know which person you are. You want to know when you should quit your job? When you don't have to ask anybody, when it's not even a question. You know, so I would say those are just a couple of ways that I got out of my own way.
First of all, that was dope and amazing. And let me go back and unpack it a little bit, right? So back, you know, a lot of people and their family, and they want support from their family when they get started. Like you said, I feel like a lot of family members are conservative, right? They never took no risks in life. So how can they tell you to go take a risk when they haven't? Right? This don't even make sense psychological, right? And so with that being said, I tell people all the time, don't get mad when they not supporting you. Don't get mad when they get jealous of you, because it's going to happen, because they told you not to do it. You still did it, and you actually proved them wrong, but they not strong enough to admit it, right? And a lot of times we get more successful past them, and they like, yo, how you was able to do it. But you can't be conservative. You got to take risks. You got to take the biggest risk, but you got to be the one to believe. If you're not the one that believes, nobody on earth gonna believe in you if you don't believe in you. I don't give a care who they is. They can be your best friend. They still gonna fall the hell out with you one day. So you just got to stay focused, right? Another thing, right? With that being said, what do you say to somebody that's so used to everybody trying to plan their life for them? How can they take that back, right? How can they plan their own life, and how important is that?
Yeah, it's the most important, because at the end of the day, we have this body that we're in right now is our only true home until the day we are in the ground. This body is dead, right? And so I say that to say that we have to remember that we're all duped from our childhood, realistically, right? Because people are always asking us, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? And that's all good and great. But what you want to be when they start saying you should be a doctor, you should be a lawyer, you should be an engineer. And that's all I knew was success back in the day. I didn't even know what entrepreneurship was. When they say those things, the what is connected to achievement, but the who is connected to fulfillment. And there are so many people that are achieving, but they're not happy, right? They're not fulfilled. It goes back to that 67% of people that don't think they matter, right? And so, and it's because we're duped from our childhood. So I would say to those people, you've got to build your belief. But what does that mean? Because we hear people all the time. You already know, we've gone to so many seminars, we've read the books, like, you got to believe in yourself. Okay, I'm like, how? I need to know how.
Houseway.
Houseway, because I'm tired of people. I think I believe, but nothing's changing, right?
Yeah.
So I always say that belief is an action word. I always say that, and it breaks down into 5 really simple steps. And so if you're in a place on this live and you are really trying to get out of your own way and you really don't believe in yourself and you have those fears and you have those doubts, give this a try. 5 steps, and then I'm gonna break it down. Is that okay? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, give it to him. Give it to him.
Okay, so number 1 is a thought. A repetitious thought. Number 2 is your awareness. Number 3, that creates your evaluation. Number 4, that creates your action. Number 5, that creates your progress. What does that mean? It means, number 1, when you have a repetitious thought, right, you're thinking about it, you're thinking about it, you're thinking about it, you're thinking about it. What you're actually doing is you're driving a neurological pathway. This is scientific, okay? A neurological pathway through your brain. Now, our brains, I always say, it's like, I love analogies, if that's okay for me to use some analogies.
Yeah.
Okay. I see in pictures. So
it's me too. That's what I do. I see in pictures. I can see every cut. I can see you can't go to the movie theater with me. That's it. That's all I say.
Because we know what's gonna happen and we're gonna talk about it. So our brains, guys, it literally works like a cornfield, right? If you have one thought and you think about it and you think about it, it's like, if you only think about it one time, it's like running through a cornfield. No one would know that you ran through a cornfield one time. If you were to drive through a cornfield one time, okay, I could kind of see a difference, but over time, not only would it kind of go away, but corn would start to grow back and you wouldn't really know over time that someone drove through that cornfield. But if you continuously drive that same path again and again and again, through that cornfield, not only will people know that somebody's been in the cornfield, but corn actually won't grow there any longer. What does that mean? It means in our brain, when we drive that thought again and again and again, not only is it at the forefront of our mind, but fears and doubts around it don't really grow there the same any longer. Yeah. Right? It's like that car that you want, and then you start seeing it everywhere. Well, that brings us to number 2. It creates your awareness. Awareness is like a radar, right? On submarines, I think that's what they're called. And there's like, doo, and you can only see what's around you, right? Doo, doo. This is the thing again. If your entire life, as old as you are, and you're a brand new entrepreneur and you've only ever seen a map of the United States, that's your radar, right? And now we're talking about Japan because you've expanded your radar. Okay, now I can evaluate. This is where I am. I'm currently in Los Angeles, California. I'm trying to get to Japan. I don't know if you personally are going to walk, or you're going to hitchhike, you're going to get on a yacht, you're going to take a boat, you're going to be on a cruise. Maybe you know the person that has a private jet and y'all could just fly there. Like maybe you got an easier pathway. Maybe your car blows out on the freeway. I don't know what your journey looks like, but when you can evaluate, you can take aligned action. Okay, this is the end goal. This is where I am. What are the steps in between here so I can actually get there? And when you get into aligned action, not just the busy work, because there are so many people that are out here so busy getting absolutely nothing done.
Nothing. They driving in circles. They got no destination.
Right. Yes. And so when you take that aligned action, if you're the person getting to your house and you just get to the airport, or maybe you were able to drive to Arizona and you got to do a cross country to New York to jump on a flight from there. I don't know what it looks like, but if you get from California to Arizona, it's like, whew, right? So inside of your business, if you get 2 clients, you can get 3. If you get 3 clients, you can get 5. If you get 5 clients, you can get 7. And it starts to do that. Oh, okay. I'm in the game. I'm in the game. And this is the thing. Nothing builds confidence like getting a result. Because nobody can talk you out of what you've already done. Like nobody can tell you, oh, your product doesn't work. Oh, actually, not only does my product work for me, but look at my 7 clients that absolutely rave about my product. Right? So you just got to keep doing that belief loop. Think about it. Get into, put it in the awareness so that you can evaluate where you are, where you want to go to get into aligned action, creates that progress, which is a newer and higher level of belief.
I love it. First of all, it's 100% correct, right? So even with myself, I get obsessed with the thought. I cannot get it out of my head until I complete it. Every single goal I ever wanted, I was able to complete it because I get obsessed with, I'm overly obsessed. I wake up about it. I sleep about it. I study about it. I do not stop until it's completed, right?
Yeah.
And people don't realize that sometimes they get distracted with life. They use this as excuses. But for me, I don't care. Life can hit me here. They can hit me here. But I'm still focused because
Period.
I know where I'm trying to go. And all of those, I call them motivational pinpoints, right? So every time I hit a motivational pinpoint, it makes me stronger. Most people use it as obstacles. I don't know what that means. Every time I hit one, I get stronger and I'm able to go to the next level.
Yes.
Every time, right?
Yes.
And so I tell people they got to start changing the meaning of stuff. Even with depression, I don't use depression as something sad. I use depression as, damn, I was moving too fast. I need to sit my ass down. And I need to think about a new blueprint so I can go to the next level instead of moping and crying and doing all this extra shit, right? So everything that you're saying is so dope, right? And I don't know if you noticed, but the other day, I was on live with Runway Billionaire and Lachey West, right? And it was a lady she got on, and she was just like, she was in a situation where everything around her is falling apart, and she's taking on everybody's stress and stuff like that, but still trying to run her cleaning business. And I was just listening to it, and I was hearing that pain, and I asked the queen, I said, where, if you can go one place in the world, what would it be? The lady said Greece. I said, you know what? Here you go. I paid for her ticket right then and sent her to Greece because clarity, and you got to see some clarity means something to me, right? When I first went to not Japan, I went to Beijing. I realized that the world was different, right? I realized that they actually love us over there. They love us. They taking pictures like we all superstars or something. Like they don't see black people, and I'm like, wow, this is different. And actually, before that, I went to Nova Scotia. Oh, in Canada.
Oh, come on, Canada. Yeah.
Yeah, the dark side, right?
Yeah.
And look, I started seeing different stuff, and I'm like, oh man, this is different from Chicago. Chicago, I'm stuck in my projects. I'm stuck in my community. I don't know nothing else. And so when I see her and I heard her words, I just felt her pain, and I wanted to show her that goals are possible to be reached. And you don't have to just think about it. You can take action on it. And right at that moment, I was able to change her whole perspective about life. And literally her birthday is May 5th, May 6th, she go to Greece.
Oh my gosh, you are so dope for that.
But what you saying is right on point. So I'm loving it because it's literally, we just was going through that. And so I want people to realize this ain't no fluff. Like, no shout out to the podcast, but this ain't no fluff, right? She's serious. Like, you guys got to change everything. Just because you listen to the motivational videos don't mean nothing. You still got to see your vision, your picture. And you got to understand that today you might not get the full canvas, but if you start painting every single day, you'll reach that big ass canvas. Sometimes people can't see that small picture. They're too busy trying to see the big, but you got to see the small first.
Right.
You
what
know
are the next 5 steps? Like, take the next aligned 5 steps today and then do it again tomorrow. And I love that you said completion. That's such a superpower because so many people start things and they don't finish anything.
And that's just discipline, though.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the time, if you can't complete this one object, and sometimes I ain't gonna lie, people goals be way too big that they should do pieces and steps of it. But I make my goals realistic. I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm gonna be a billionaire tomorrow. It's not realistic. I'm gonna be a billionaire in the next 9 years, though. That's realistic because I see the projections, right? And so, and back to what you said, this is my belief as well. If you can make $1, you can make $1 billion. You just got to keep multiplying that process. It's all a process, right? Yeah. So if you're in this chat right now, I want to do something. I want you to type the word grow so you can get my free social media business growth secrets and join my free community on Facebook so you can learn how to put out content better, so you get your messaging better, so you can love yourself better. I think that's so big. Like, I'm going to say this one thing. Literally at one point in my life, I have achievements, but I never lived in the moment, right? I never cared about it. And then I realized that I was cheating myself because I have to actually, when I get an accomplishment, I got to celebrate it. Little, small, big or not, because that celebration makes me get more fuel. And back then I'm just going, never stopping. I turn around, I'm like, damn, these many years went past, this happened, damn, I ain't even live with it. So I want you to talk about how important it is to actually take that and how does that build internally?
To build the belief internally? To build what internally?
Anything, like just taking any small accomplishments and actually making it feel special and not overlooking every accomplishment.
Yes, I think that that's so key. Like literally, and that's the thing. When you have the big goal, so I'm going to use the example of $100,000, right? Let's say you at first want to set a goal of making $100,000 in a year. Now, I will give it with the pretext of if you are struggling as an entrepreneur and $100,000 sounds like a billion, because I know for me, when I was struggling to pay my rent, $100,000, like y'all telling me to be the light, my lights are cut off right now. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what you're even talking about. When I'm struggling to put gas in my car, food in my fridge, how am I supposed to be declaring I'm making $100,000, right? So
Right.
one thing that I will say is inside of your affirmations, sometimes they're so big that when you say them, you don't feel good about them. And remember, what we attract how we feel. So if you're saying, "Oh, I'm making $100,000," you're actually pushing that away, right? So when it comes into having that big goal, break it down into little steps. Okay, I want to make $100,000 a year. That's $8,333 a month. That's only $277 a day. How many people do I have to expose my product or service to consistently, right? Consistently make $277 a day. Now, I know some people say 273. I don't know how they got to that math. I did it on a calculator. I swear I saw 277, but it is what it is, right? So now, instead of saying I am big goal, right? I am a six-figure earner that doesn't feel good. You start saying I am becoming the kind of person who. I am becoming the kind of person who can be consistent with exposing my product to blank amount of people every day. I am becoming the kind of person who is not going to be thrown off by rejection, right? I am becoming the kind of person who can keep promises to themselves. I am becoming, and what starts to happen is you start becoming that person, right? So when you feel good about, oh, I expose my product or service to 10 people in person and 1,000 people on social media via Facebook ads or via whatever that looks like that you're doing. It feels good. Like, oh, I talked to 10 people today. Oh, and then when you start getting those clients, because it's not going to happen right away. It takes 90 days to really see anything, really. Like if you get clients in your first, day, week, month, good for you. But really, it takes consistency over time, not wavering due to what's happening. So if all you have is 2 hours a day, right, to build your business because you have a family and you have a job and you have all of those things, how can you automate? How can you delegate? How can you systemize? How are you recording your screen on the things that you're going to do all the time? So when you can afford to outsource, they know exactly how to do it. Are you creating a culture of things, of like the playbook of how you run your business so you can give that to the team when you have one? And now you're making your business work for you instead of working for your business. And it feels good to get a result. It's like I don't even have to try to feel good about those small accomplishments, because one of the best things I can say that builds confidence is doing your best. Now that being said, sometimes our best sucks. Like, let me be clear. Sometimes my best looks like, yo, I made it through the day today. You know what I mean? Like your best is not always going to be the most efficient, the most productive, but if you're doing the best with where you're at, you can't not feel good because you kept promises to yourself, and that feels good.
Never lie to yourself. Man.
Never.
Yo, she's a powerhouse. Do y'all hear what she put down for real? Like, she ain't playing no games, and it's real, it's true. You guys be playing. Y'all better stop playing with this queen. Make sure you follow her right now. If you don't follow her, go follow her, man. This is dope. Like, this is so therapeutic, right? Right. So I'm gonna say it like that. I want you to talk to the people. Like, social media can make people really, really depressed because they see other people's lifestyle and they mad at themselves because they don't got it yet, right? Can you give them some jewels about that? Give them some gems and help them change that perspective.
Yes. So I'm going to speak from personal experience because I fell into that trap in the heaviest way, right? For those of you that don't know me, I've been engaged twice, right? I've failed at more things than most people. And that is why I succeed, because what's the worst that can happen? We look dumb. Okay, I'll take it. You could call me whatever you want to call me, right? So I say all of that to say that my most recent ex-fiance, this is years ago, we were every single hashtag. We were Black love. We were power couple. We were relationship goals. But in reality, it was a very toxic situation, right? And I'll never forget, my ex-fiance looked me dead in my face and said, Sarah, you'll never make it. The only way you'd make it is if you married someone who made it. Boy, was he wrong, number one. But two, how many of you on this call, on this live right now, are allowing people, places, experiences, circumstances, situations to look you dead in your face and say, you'll never make it. The only way you'd make it is if X, Y, Z. Well, you get to decide if that's true. You get to decide if that's real. The same way you get to decide if you're going to use comparison as a superpower and an inspiration, or to look at yourself in a space of lack. And so what I will say is that with my ex-fiance, or with that entire situation, I was so worried about the perception, but we live inside of the reality. The perception doesn't matter. And so for me, I had to get crystal clear on what is it and who is it that I want to be. When I put on my entrepreneur hat, how do I want to show up? How do I want people to feel? How do I want people to be received? How do I want to be received? What's the energy I want to give off? When I put on my wife hat, it's the same thing. When I put on my business builder hat, when I put on auntie hat, daughter hat, whatever hat that you're putting on in that moment, because I do want to say, guys, don't forget, balance does not exist. We're either like this or we're like this. But if you're like this is like flatline, death. Something is dying, right? So when you're with your family, be with your family. I always say be where your feet are. But don't compare yourself unless you're using it as a superpower. The people that I follow, the women in business, the men in business, like no person is better than the other. They probably just started sooner. Right? The things that I have, like I've been at this over 10 years now. But people look at the finished product and they think this is it. Okay, well, were you there when I was choosing between putting gas in my car or food in my fridge? Were you there when I was scrounging up change? Were you there when I got sued for $3,500 worth of late fees because in 4 years I paid my rent twice on time? Right? So we have to remember that somebody's finished product is not where they started. You cannot compare. Well, you can, but I wouldn't advise comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 100.
Facts. Big facts. Yo, y'all take a moment and really sit on that, right? Because that's so true. And so when you guys see people on social media, stop comparing yourself. Stop trying. If you're going to get those things, you're going to get those things when you get those things. And I tell people all the time that half of that shit is fake, right?
Truly.
Or they done took decades and decades and decades to get there, right? And so they can spend it because they sacrifice your whole lifetime in order to get there. You just didn't see the sacrifice because you wasn't paying attention to them because they wasn't on your radar, right? So y'all got to stop playing, right? And I think once you get, I think, I forgot who said this, but he said, it was one of the books, right? He said, you don't become successful until your inner peace meets your outer peace, right? So to both of them align is when you really become successful. If you doing something internal that don't match what you're doing external, you'll never be happy. So if you're really an entrepreneur at heart, but you working a slave job that you hate, you'll never be happy. Or vice versa, right? If you're an entrepreneur, but you're doing something that you don't like, you'll never be happy. So you got to take time to make sure that you won and you a full thing before you go out here and start talking to the world, right? So I've been doing this for over a decade as well. But what happened was I was talking to a whole different audience. I wasn't talking to entrepreneurs. I was talking to artists. You know, my career started as a music video director, right? And I blew up a lot of artists. I became successful in the music video side. And then I realized that my mental started growing. I started reading more, and I'm like, man, why they treating the creatives like shit? Like, hold up. Like, you think just because I got a camera, I'm less than. And so I went out and I shot a movie, and that was my movie I was working on for 5 years. I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on it, and I realized, like, yo, I'm more happier doing my own shit. And then my ribs started touching because I was using my own cash. And then I was like, hold up, this shit ain't making sense, right? And I started learning finance back in, this was in 2017. I started learning finance, and I started learning how America worked. And from there, I was able to scale crazy because I was able to align my passion with finance, with my purpose.
Yes, come
And
on.
you feel me? My purpose is to help entrepreneurs get their message across using content. I've been doing content forever before anybody even used the word content.
Right.
So it's like, like, yo, before the pandemic, people wasn't using content like they're using today,
Right.
right? And so my goal is to really see people be themselves and share their stories. I think a
Yes.
lot of people don't share their stories online. Like, yo, this shit is too like cookie cutter. And so when I see people that really share their story and transparent about it, I love to sit with them. I love to pick their brain. I love for them to give you the information and give you the value. Like, you guys got to stop trying to hide shit. These are testimonials. These what make people. Y'all think people come out perfect? Hell no. Hell no.
Mm-mm.
That shit ain't real. What's real is
Mm-mm.
somebody who can keep it real with you. You know what I'm saying? That's what's real. Like, Queen, I love everything that you do. Like, it's so dope because I see so many entrepreneurs, like, they fail themselves, right? They fail
Mm.
themselves because they don't know themselves. And so
Mm.
when I'm like, man, self-love, hold up, that's something different, right? Because we don't talk about that.
At
We think
all.
self-love is us giving to everybody else, but it's like if you give to everybody else before you give to yourself, you put yourself last. And if you
Period.
put yourself last, you'll always be last. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? So it's so crazy. So when you tell me what's your process like, right? So if somebody on here and they deal and they can't figure themselves out, how can they like sign up to one of your programs or how can they get some of your services? What that process like?
Yeah, so right now I actually have an ultimate self-love guide available. It's $7 for like I'm literally giving this away. And there's action steps, like so many actionable things you can start to do today to get out of your own way. I share through personal stories. There's a workbook with it. It also comes with a digital journal. It comes with affirmations, both audio and written. It comes with work at home workouts. It comes with a meal plan. It comes with all of the things that can really help us to love ourselves more. And if you go through the whole funnel, there's other services that I definitely have available there. But what I will say is, you know, like you were saying, it's so important to keep promises to yourself. And a lot of the times people think that because you've made the choice to work on yourself, that means right away you're going to become this incredible person. And it's just not the truth. When you first start this self-love journey, it's like marriage, right? I don't know how many people on here are married, but it's like a big mirror. I'm not even married. I've never been married, but I've learned a lot, right? Through watching, right? It's like a big mirror that's put in front of your face and you get to see all of the ugliest parts of self, right? Like where you are uncompromising, where you are unwavering, where you're stubborn, where you're hard-headed, where you're this, where you're that. And we get to see, oh, these are probably different areas that I have an opportunity to grow. And so self-love for me is when you really get to put the mirror up to yourself and be like, dang, I'm really out here betraying myself. I'm really out here treating myself crazy. And we only allow people to treat us as bad as we'll treat ourselves. So if you're one of those people that is constantly being disrespected, that's constantly being talked down to, that they're being condescending to you, I would ask you to ask yourself, yo, put your chin up, put those shoulders down, puff up your chest a little bit. And remember that worthiness is not something that you have to achieve. It's not something you have to earn. It's not something you have to dress like or look like to get. It's your freaking birthright. It is your birthright. And when you can walk inside of that power and you can be like, yo, I'm supposed to be here. And you come with that energy and not from a space of arrogance, but from a sense of confidence. Like, I'm supposed to be in this room, right? I'm supposed to be with this opportunity. Like, who better, you know?
Who
and
better?
Again, like, why not? Because the same thing happens when you're going through your trials and tribulations. When those things happen, who better, right? So I really, really, really just want people to remember that, like, we were born worthy, and really tapping into that self-love is going to be the hardest, ugliest, craziest, plot twisted, like, dang, I'm truly at the pinpoint of all of my pain. Can I tell one story that I learned something?
Yes.
Okay. This blew my mind, and I actually think this is the reason why over time, it took me years to actually get to my love guide and writing my love guide, and this is a part of the stories that I tell in the book, right? But I realized something, because I always used to be that girl that said, I don't have female friends. Female friends always do me wrong. I can't trust female friends, this, that, and the other. Men ain't whatever. Like, you know, I attract good men, but like we're probably not going to make it because of I used to speak all of these things, right? Yeah. So I realized when I was 28 years old, this is years ago, okay? When I was 28 years old, I realized going back, working on self-love, that because of an experience that happened when I was 10 years old, I created a story. This is what happened. 10-year-old Sarah, I was a dirty kid. Okay. I was nasty. I was disgusting. I literally didn't shower every day, but my parents are still together, but my dad ruptured a disc in his back when I was 10. And so he was often laying in the bed in the basement. My mom has I have a million brothers and sisters because my parents love each other too much. So my mom had all of us kids. She had a full-time job. She was going to school full-time, and my dad had just injured himself. By the way, she still made him head of household, which is mind-blowing to me because he was in the bed at that time. I didn't understand at all. And now I'm like, wow, like it completely changed the way that I look at relationships. That's a side note. This is the point. When I was 10 years old, my parents would say, hey, maybe you should make your bed. Hey, clean your room. Hey, you're this. I didn't listen to my parents because they weren't cool. I didn't want to hear from them. Why would I? Who listens to their kids or to their parents when they're 10 years old? But there was a girl at school who everybody loved. Every single person loved. She was popular. She was beautiful. She played multiple instruments. She could sing really well. She always killed it in track and field. And I'm not going to say her name. But this girl, I asked her, in her house, when she invited the whole class over, her house was like Little Miss Muffet. Every single thing had its place inside of the house. Everything. Her dad was a police officer. Her mom was a stay-at-home mom. And it just seemed perfect from my 10-year-old vision, right? I asked, let's call her Jane. I asked Jane Doe, I said, hey, will you come over and play at my house? But I want you to know I'm not clean like you, right? But I would love for you to teach me how to be clean. So I just want to give you the disclaimer, I cleaned up my room my best, but I really want you to know I'm not clean like you. I kid you not, Dantel, if there were roaches in Canada where I'm from, we would have had roaches solely because of me. I'm not kidding. So even when I cleaned up, it was still nasty. You know what I mean? And my mom was like, as long as the main area is in the house, I don't got time to be stressing about your bedroom. You want to live in filth? Be filthy then. So I say all of that to say that she came to my house that day. She did not stay long. She went to school the next day. And when I got there, she told every single person how dirty and disgusting and nasty I was. And in that moment, I didn't even know until I was 28 years old. I created a story that said, if I let you in, you'll betray me. Now, this is the thing about our stories. We will always find a way to make them true. We will seek the people, the places, the opportunities. We will put ourselves in the circumstances and situations to make whatever we believe in our core. And I didn't even know. It was like a subconscious thing that's been running. It literally well into my adulthood. I'm literally living with the story that says, if I let you in, you'll betray me. So no wonder why I'm choosing women that don't have a strong morale. I'm choosing women that don't really know who they are or have a high level of value. I'm choosing men that are going to dog me out. I was almost paralyzed by my first ex-fiance, right? Really and truly, and then I realized that I was at the pinpoint of all of my pain. And had I taken the time to unpack all of these stories that we all create when we're children, every single person on this live, including myself, we have these stories that we live by. And our stories work like thermostats, right? If I set the temperature in this room to 75 degrees, if it's freezing outside, the thermostat will pump warm air to make sure that it's at 75. If it's blazing hot outside, the thermostat will pump cool air to make sure that the room is at 75 degrees. Right. And it's automatic, right? Our subconscious works the same way. I don't have to change any kind of degree. It's automatic. So this is the thing, the things that are happening in our lives, when it seems too good to be true for us, we're going to self-sabotage to bring it down. When it's too low vibrational for us, we're going to say, oh, off with that. We're going to bring it back up. Right. And so when we understand that our subconscious works in that way, and I understood that I had a whole breakdown at when I found out that, like, literally, I'm like, I can't even believe I have all of these stories. But on the flip side, I will say that with that usually comes your strong suit. Now I'm like OCD, right? Like literally, I'm so grateful. Like everything has its way of fit. Like all my labels face one way. Like I'm literally OCD in my home. People are like, can I touch? Yes, it's fine. It's fine. So there are positives that come out of it, but
Yeah.
I just am so passionate about people understanding that the stories that we have is such a huge part of the journey inside of our self-love. And you might break down, you might cry, it'll probably hurt, but that is the best journey we could possibly take and the most worthwhile in the end.
First of all, yo, if y'all on the other side of this phone, just clap it up, because that right there was true. Like, I'm watching everybody moments in the comments, and I'm like, it resonated with them, because we all have those. Like, in my story, man, first of all, I'm still taking yours in, yo, and it's crazy because it's like you was vulnerable and letting her know ahead of time. And I hate people that do that still to this day, right? Because it happened to me before. But if I tell you my cons, and I tell you my downfalls, and you take them and you use them against me, that really just showed me how weak you are, because I was strong enough to open up and ask for help, or open up and let you know that I'm aware of this and I'm working on this, or I'm doing this and that. And for people to do that, people still do this to this day. I got people that I stopped talking to within the last few months and years because of that. It's like, yo, if I told you I'm not good at this, and you go and shout it out to the world just to make me look less than, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And for me, I'm a kid from Chicago. My biological dad got killed when I was 1. My mother was on dope. I'm a crack baby, project baby. And I was raised in and out of the foster care, right? And so other people had to raise me. And so for me, my whole life, it was, my only fear was dying without being loved, right? It's so crazy because my daddy left me, my mama left me. And so it was just like my only fear in life was dying without being loved, right? And now that's changed because I got a family now, and I got kids, I got wife, I got all this. So I don't have that fear anymore. So I'm resentless. Like, it's crazy. But at that time growing up, I was that kid, and I tell people all this time, if I wasn't shooting content, I would have been killing people, right? I would have been a hitman, because that was my upbringing, shooting up shit, doing all types of crazy shit. Because my God, if you my homie Sarah, and she did that to you, I gotta stand up for you, right? And that's how my life is still like that to this day. So I kind of try to stay to myself a lot, because that switch will come on, right? But it's like I was always loyal to my friends more than anything than myself, right? Because I didn't have no guidance, right? I didn't know what success looked like. I never seen nobody successful but the dope boys, and where I'm from was hitmen, right? And getting a record straight. If somebody says something crazy, I'm fixing them right then. I didn't let gangrene spread or none of that. And to be honest, that shit still haunts me to this day, because I don't know how to turn it off sometimes, and some shit could get just swept under the rug, and I could turn my head and keep it moving. I don't have to speak on it. And so I'm still learning right now to shut up, Dontel. That's you too big to be even speaking on shit like that to low frequency people that don't understand, right? And so for you sharing, I just want everybody to know we all got stories. But the blessing is we was able to go through something so early that made us so strong today, right? Some people are just now going through struggle today in their life, so they can't handle it. But the ones that was going through struggle from day one, they the strongest. So you can't really throw nothing at us that's gonna stop us, because we've been through this shit. And we've been through it. So we you know what I'm saying? It's so crazy. And I tell people every day, it's like I help as many people as I can, because so many people help me. Since so many people help me, I feel as if I gotta pay it forward. And so that's why I take my time out and I give my time. And so I just want everybody to know, when you get on social media, share your story. When you talking about your business, share your stories, because sometimes it's bigger than what you serve, what you sell, or what services you offer. It's about who you are and how people can connect with you. That story she just shared might resonate with somebody, and now y'all guys want to get more from it because she overcame something, and you going through something that you overcame, or you had a similar situation. Right. And you weren't able to unpack that yet. And now you're able to unpack that so you can be free and let that baggage go. Right. And so it's be transparent. That's the biggest thing I can say. We all got stories. We all been through some. Treat people with the utmost respect, because you don't know where they at in life. You don't know where they headspace at. So you better stop trying to, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to content, right, how, like, everybody needs content. How did content help your success of your career? Like, break that down.
Man, so much content changed my life. And I think because I've never been the person that tries to come off as perfect.
Yeah.
right? Like people might see a pretty picture, but if they read the caption, it's like all of the ugly parts of my life. And I'm okay with it, you know? And I think that when we're okay with the ugliest parts and there's no shame and there's no like, oh, I'm scared for people to know, or maybe they won't accept me or they're going to judge me. I don't care. Judge me if you want to. It has nothing to do with me. Right. And so because I know that my intention is to help people that are just like me get out of their own way, my content is focused on that. You know, my content is focused on healing. It's focused on self-love. It's focused on worthiness. It's focused on do you, boo, whatever makes you happy. And because of that, it brings my tribe. And this is the thing, I always laugh about it because, you know, I'm fairly fit. I work out 5 days a week. I eat really healthy.
6 days. I'm 6 days right now. I love it.
Let's go.
I don't play.
Yeah, and I always say, you know, if I was one of those girls that was just half naked on the ground all the time, I could have 1 million followers. But I'm not interested in that. I'm okay with having the smaller following because those are my tribe that value substance over just a picture. I'm okay with being able to say, you know, who wants to talk about self-love, and I could choose someone off of my live and we could just chop it up and have a good conversation. I'm excited about being in birds of a feather that flock together because even though, you know, like eagles, dope, pigeons, dope, they aren't friends. Like at all. Like actually one would eat the other, right? And not to say that one is better or worse, but really and truly it comes back to that self-awareness of who it is that you are and how it is that you want to be perceived, how it is that you want to be as a human being and moving in alignment with it. If you're the girl that takes a photo from the back in every photo, do you, boo, whatever makes you happy, and you're going to attract exactly what that comes with. Right. And if I want to talk about self-love and that's all I'm going to talk about every so often, you might see me going out kind of photo. Okay, cool. I'm going to do me. But I think that having aligned content is really the difference between building a brand and a business and just, you know, throwing spaghetti at a wall and hoping that something sticks. And it's crazy because even now people will say, oh, you're that like mindset, motivation, self-love person. Like, oh, literally, okay, so I got tricked into going, this is like 2 nights ago. I was told we were going karaokeing, right? I didn't know that karaoke was kind of like a club, like, but it was super dope. I'm not going to lie, but I don't go to clubs. And my friend was like, yo, you got to dress up. I was like, yo, I don't even do dress up. And my sister's visiting me in town and she's like, I have a deep neckline plunging backless jumpsuit. That's the only thing I brought to wear. So I was like, oh God, okay, I'm going to play, you know, I'll play in the game. And so we both got dressed up and we went. And the craziest part is people recognize me from I don't even go out. Literally, y'all, like nobody sees me. I'm not an out girl. I love to be in the house, okay? So I say that to say it was mind-blowing to me that people were like, yo, that's so crazy that I saw you yesterday. I love the content that you put out. Or even if I do post a sexier photo, people are like, yo, this caption is fire. Beautiful photo. But it's not eggplants and water drippies, you know? So it's because of the message and the alignment of what I'm constantly putting out there, I think, anyway.
No, 100%. And I tell people they got to start focusing on likes and views and start focusing on substance, right?
Yeah.
The substance is what makes sales. I know people that got 200 followers that makes millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? I know people with millions of followers that make no money, right? So people mindset and status is so off. Right? It's like, oh, if you got this many followers, you somebody, and if you don't, you nobody. That's corny as hell to me. If you're a great person, you're a great person. Some of the people that's not popular on here was popular on Black Planet or popular on MySpace. They just didn't transition well on here and vice versa.
Right. Did you see the girl? There's some influencer. I always use her. I can't remember her name, but she had at the time, this is like 2 years ago, so who knows what she has now. She had 2.6 million followers, okay? 2.6 million followers, and she started a brand, and she was literally laughing about it in an interview, and she was talking about how she launched this brand and she barely sold 26 t-shirts. 2.6 million followers, 26 t-shirts.
What kind of content did she post? First of all, was this that butt shots?
They don't see her for. I'm not buying it. Unless it's like there's just certain products that go with certain lifestyles, and t-shirts probably ain't it, you know?
Ain't it? Only fans go with that, right?
Period.
So you guys got to make sure that y'all content is right, that y'all substance is right, that y'all purpose is right. Otherwise, the content ain't going to work. It don't matter how many followers you got. Give your people value. I think that's the biggest thing, is making sure that you get value, right? So I'm going to stop right here. Hold on. If you guys are in here right now, what I want you to do is type the word growth in the comments so you can get my free social media business growth secrets. And it's going to allow you to grow your business, because a lot of people get online and don't know how to grow their brand because they probably doing one thing or they doing another thing, but they're not consistent with the system. And so in these 11 secrets, it's free. I'm not selling nothing. All of this is free. It's not attached to a funnel that's going to sell you nothing. It's literally to a free Facebook community where I get on live just like this every Monday and get free value, right? So make sure you guys go get it so you can grow, right? My goal is to see you guys take things to the next level. And the only way that you can do that, if you get the resources, the only way we can, my purpose is to see more Black businesses, say, since 100 years later, whatever it is, right? And I want to see more business, say, since we see so many other businesses since 1870, but we don't see our businesses like that. So a lot of people started their business in 2020. I started my business in 2011, right? So literally, I've been doing this nonstop. And so when I see people businesses start, but then I see they don't invest in it, and I see their competition surpass them because they scared to really invest or take risks, it hurts me the most, because what are you doing this for? I know what I'm doing this for. I'm doing this for my kids. I can't pass myself down once I'm gone. So that's why I got employees. That's why I got systems. That's why I got all of this, so we can pass the business down, right? So my purpose is to get your content right so you can be able to afford it, so you can be able to afford growth, so you can be able to relax, so you can be able to love yourself no matter how much money you got something that you can pass down, right?
Yes.
So if you had $100 right now to your name, how would you use it to grow your business right now?
I'm brand new.
It could be, you got your still knowledge. You still got all of your knowledge, but you just don't got.
But I'm starting a brand new business.
Brand new. No social media following though. None of that. Just the knowledge internal.
I wouldn't use $100. If I was to want to make some money right now, I would do a pre-sale. I would find a product that's in alignment with my lifestyle. I would go on to Alibaba or AliExpress.com. And I would search something like, let's say, hair extensions, or let's say t-shirts, or let's say waist trainers, or let's say workout pants, or whatever it is that's in alignment with your lifestyle. Let's say that I find waist trainers, right? Maybe I would take my $100 and I would order one as a sample. When I see the sample of how it's going to fit my body, what it's like, okay, great, probably cost me $30. I still have $70 left. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-sale my waist trainer so that I actually get the money first. And before I actually have to spend money on getting my waist trainer, I'm going to do a launch of a pre-sale. Once I get my orders, let's say I only get 20 orders, and I'm charging them for $49.99, but they're only $20. I just made $30 profit. I could do a double order, plus have money for the shipping to get all of my things over here. Let them know, because it's a pre-sale. It's going to take 2 to 3 weeks for them to get it. And then I'm going to take them. I'm going to do Facebook ads for $5 a day with my extra $70 that I have left over. And I'm going to make sure that I take the audience of someone like, what's her name? Keisha Kayor. She does waist trainers. I'm going to steal her lookalike audience off of Facebook, or someone else that does waist trainers. And I'm going to put my ad with a bunch of my little friends with, waist trainer pictures, video pictures, putting them on, seeing it under our clothing so that they see those ads. And then I'm going to create a website for free on bigcartel.com. And I only have one product, so that's why it's free. I'm going to have up to 5 photos of me and all my friends. And now I could do either a real order. I've done a double order. So now instead of purchasing, let's say the 20 that came in, I actually have 40. I can sell those 20. When those 20 are sold out, I can do another double order of things and cover the shipping, and I would keep it growing.
Bro, game. Hold on. Game. Y'all got it. Hey. Did y'all just hear that? So there's no excuses, right? So, and somebody said, how can you do that without followers? I think you missed the message, right? You don't need followers. You need to dedicate it. You could go DM every woman. You can go find 100 people that might need a waist trainer and DM them all. You might go in Facebook groups of women entrepreneurs and DM them all. What are you talking about? You don't need followers to sell anything. You just got to have some grit, and you got to be able to just go. You just need your cell phone or somebody's phone. Go to the internet at the library. Do something. No excuses. They said, what about you? No, you don't need followers. I'm telling you this. Y'all thinking about if you don't got followers, you can't make sales. That's a lie.
Right.
That's a lie. You just need grit. Like, yo, she just gave y'all game, so y'all got no excuses. So whatever y'all business is, sometimes y'all see people and y'all trying to skip ahead. Sometimes people put out big lump sums of money on marketing campaigns that fail because they didn't do the organic steps first. Their message might have been off. Their audience off. Their product might have sucked. So they just wasted tons of money. Because you got money don't mean it's going to be successful. Don't mean you got to test it first. You got to take steps. You got to put time in. It ain't just going to go just because you got a couple dollars. You can skip some steps, but that don't mean it's going to be successful. Yo, Queen, do you got anything else to say? Any more bars on bars on bars to drop right before you get up out of here? And if you guys are watching this, before she get her last outtake, make sure y'all go up. I think it's somewhere up here. Make sure y'all follow both of us. It's somewhere up here. Y'all can see it. Just click on something at the top. Make sure you follow both of us. Make sure you, and somebody asked, how long is your thing going to be for sale for $7? You shouldn't even answer that. You shouldn't even ask that question. You should just go get it. Why you got to ask how long something going to be on sale for $7? Just go invest in yourself, believe in yourself, take it to the next level. Don't ask questions like that, right? Stop procrastinating. That's the reason why you need it, right? Because you're procrastinating. So you want to leave them with anything?
I would just say we can be, do, and have anything that we want to be, do, and have the second that we decide to make it so. It will not, circumstances will not change overnight, but your mind can, and that is the most powerful thing that we have. I want to say thank you to you so much, Chantel, for all that you do, the access you create, the way that you give back to the people. You are constantly feeding people, and I'm so grateful to be surrounded by entrepreneurs that are hungry to make a change and then act like it. You know, you've already made it. It's like, you know, when you go get the water, you're literally coming back, leaving a blueprint for people, but also helping them along the way too. So I'm just so grateful to even be associated here, honored, grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Let's freaking get it.
Thank you so much, Queen. Make sure y'all go follow her. Make sure y'all support her. And you need more women like that, right? We see too much of that other shit. You need real. You need everything organic. Get friends like this. Don't get friends that's trying to send you overseas and go get other shit done. Don't get those friends. Get friends that's going to help you increase here. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. Facts is facts. I'm sorry, guys. I love y'all too. We out of here. Content is king. And make sure you guys create content to scale your business. Don't make no excuses. I don't care if you shy. Get on front of this camera and let the world know your message. Let the world know you here. Give the world value. Stop trying to sell, and start giving, right? All right, y'all. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Of course. Thank you.
All right, Queen.
Bye.